there, Foxy Gamers! Welcome to Getting Started in Mashinky. Today I'm going to take you through a quick look of your first game. Now this is assuming you're going to play with the tutorial because there's some things that aren't really explained as well as I would have preferred, and I thought I would help you guys out with those things. So this is already assuming you've gone through the camera navigation and ground leveling. Also, no matter what game you play, it's going to be a little bit different than mine because this game is procedurally generated, so the maps will always be different. But the quests will essentially be the same, and you should be able to get what you need out of this. So our first quest here is connecting Rugby and Preston, and if you click on these buttons here, your camera will become centered over exactly where the game wants you to focus on. Now all we have to do is connect these two cities with a station. Now this one's a little bit annoying because it's kind of at the edge of the map here. I'm not going to want to build a bridge across here, and we don't have any room to put a track around this edge. So I want to make sure that my station is going to be on this side of the town so that there'll be room to curve my track around to extend it if I like. It is important to follow the quest, but you also want to pay attention to where you might like to go next. So I think my plan of attack here is going to be building a station on these two to do the quest, and I'm going to make this kind of inverted C shape here. So that way we can extend to these other towns later if we so choose. Now just a couple tips for building your stations. If we go into our railway here and click on the station, we now have a tool to build it. Now I recommend building it just a little bit away, like 1 square away from the town itself, because eventually you're going to want to add extensions to your station, and you have to have room to place those extensions. They're like additional little buildings. So I recommend putting 1 row of squares between your station and wherever you're building it next to, whether that be the sawmill here or this town. Now another thing to think about is these two items right here are very close together. So potentially I can put my station kind of in between the two, and hopefully my trains will be able to take advantage of both the sawmill and this town. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That should be enough room for me to place our track. Actually, I want to make sure I'm as close to the sawmill as I can get without actually taking up all the space. Now you could build as long of a station as you want, but sometimes in early games, money is harder to come by, especially if you're not starting with the tutorial. So I'm going to do 4 squares worth of a station here. And then we're going to put our station right here. And we'll do another one that's 4 squares long. Now all we have to do is connect the 2 tracks. Now this game is in early access, just a reminder. So, you know, these things are subject to change, and if you're watching this at a much later time, pay attention to the video posting date to see how accurate this is. But anyway, as the game stands right now, my suggestion for building the railroad tracks is they can get kind of screwy sometimes. This one is actually quite simple, so I could just go ahead and connect this one, but sometimes you get this weird stuff happening that you'll probably see at a later time. I like to pull out some track a little bit from my station and then connect these 2 tracks together. For some reason, the game just seems to do that a little bit better. Now the other reason is I wanted to make sure I have a nice lengthy spot right here, because now I'm going to place my depot. And this is another thing I wish I would have known right away. As I started out placing my depot like this, to where there's 1 track coming out, and there's nothing wrong with that, but then your train can only go one way when they come out of the depot. Also, I put it next to the station. This is like how I built my depots before, and that's a big no-no because like I said before, you're gonna want to put extensions on your station later. So what I recommend doing is rotating this guy around and lining him up with a straight piece of track, like so. And this way, now you can see, it automatically, oh, if I set it in the right place, it automatically builds us 2 tracks. Now, it will cost us a little bit more. Actually, no, it won't. Look at that. 66 and 66. Well, then there's no reason to not do this. I'm going to stick him out here on the end because I may want to extend out this station later. So we'll put that depot... we could put it in the corner here, actually. I'm not certain how much more we're going to want to extend this guy out. So we'll put it there. And now you can go into your depot and buy your first train. So we go over here into engines. And we can only buy the porter right now because this one is purchased with timber coins, which we won't get until later. So go ahead and buy your porter. And then under wagons, we want to buy... You could potentially buy the coach car instead. It's got a higher capacity per car. But if you want to complete the quest, it wants you to buy 3 Pullman. So we will just go ahead and buy 3 of those guys. And now, all we do is click on the train and say start. And there you have it. This guy will automatically start going between these 2 towns because it knows that it's a passenger train. We collect a reward, and now we do actually have enough timber that we could buy the other engine with our next train if we wanted to. But there you go, guys. That is how you connect your first 2 cities in Mashinky and complete the initial quest. I hope this video was helpful to you in some way or another, and be sure to check out my other Mashinky tutorials on my channel. Thanks a lot, guys, and until next time, stay foxy.